Half the width is known as quarter pass. What is going on, everyone? Zero Star Heads here, or you guys are more than welcome to call me Jordan, and I'm here today for a new video topic. If you've seen one of my previous videos, I did a reaction to top 10 anime that everyone loves. And there was a lot of series in that list that I didn't agree with, and there was a couple in particular that I've been waiting to talk about for a while on my channel. And now's the time where I'm going to go ahead and talk about two series in particular that I really don't like. A lot of people do like them and I don't, so I'm preparing for the dislikes on this video, but hopefully you guys don't kill me too bad. But to make it a little more fun and a little bit more light, I'm also going to add two series that I think are super underrated. So we're going to have two overrated and two underrated. Let's go ahead and get into it. And for the first one on this list, this first series that I think is super overrated, not really my cup of tea, and I just can't get into, is One Punch! Yep, sorry guys, I don't really like One Punch Man. I know I'm like probably gonna get a lot of hate for this. Like every manga tuber I see, everyone loves One Punch Man. It's like up to date with all the volumes, but I only own one and I'm not buying anymore. I want to say right off the bat that I have seen all of the first season of One Punch Man. I hear controversial things about the second season. I haven't seen it yet, but I have seen the whole first season, so I have given it a fair shot. But with that being said, I just didn't really enjoy it all that much. It's not to say that the series is necessarily terrible. I just found it overall very boring. And I know that the whole gimmick of the series is that, you know, it's Saitama and he can beat everyone in one punch, and it's supposed to be really funny and really cool. But to me, it's just boring, and it makes everything seem kind of like there's no really anything to worry about, and I just didn't really like it, you know. I thought it was kind of boring. I know there was this whole like superhero ranking system, and you can see these heroes try and make their way to the top, and I really just don't feel any like connection to that, because at the end of the day, Saitama is obviously the best hero. He beats everyone in one punch, so I never really found enjoyment out of that. Genos, who was the other main character, I did like more than Saitama, but still overall wasn't the character I was super into. I thought his character was a little bit boring as well, but that's just my opinion. One Punch Man is not a series I really like too much. But I will say one thing that I did really like about One Punch Man is the most simple thing. I think it's so hilarious how he gains power, and I think that whole scene is really funny. Like, we get to figure out how he get this power, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to know, how did he get it? And then he's just like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and then I think he did like a 1 mile run or something like that, which is super funny. So there is things to like in the series, and I did finish the whole first season, and I'm not saying I didn't find any enjoyment out of it. Like, I watched it and thought it was okay. But it just wasn't anywhere near as good as people say it is, in my opinion. It's definitely nowhere near my top 10, and definitely a manga I don't feel like I need to pick up anymore. But that's my opinion. I just think it's kind of boring, and none of the characters really stuck with me. None of them. Saitama didn't, Genos didn't, none of the villains really did it for me either. I also thought the character designs for the villains were a little weird too. Nothing in the series really caught me. It wasn't anything that it necessarily was terrible. Just nothing really grabbed me. Okay, so if there's still anyone on this video after my bashing of One Punch Man, let me go ahead and give you guys a very underrated series. And this is a series that I promise a lot of you guys haven't heard of. By the way, a lot of these series, all these series are actually anime. There is manga to certain series, but this certain series there isn't a manga to. I think there's a light novel, but as far as I know, the anime is the best way to go about it. And that is a series called Sunday Without God. Let me know if you guys heard of that one, because I'm pretty sure a good amount of you guys probably haven't heard of Sunday Without God, and you really should check it out. I think it's like 12 episodes. It's a very short series. It's very interesting. So the point of the story is, what would happen if God just decided, you know, I'm done. Like, I'm done with the earth. You know, he pretty much gave up. And anyone who is left on the earth cannot die, and no one else is born. So it's kind of like, you know, everyone who's just stuck there is stuck. Heaven is full. Nothing else is going to happen. But God did give you one last gift, and that was a gravekeeper. Gravekeeper's jobs are to help souls find their way to the next life. Not really to the next life, because you can't go to the next life, but just to be at peace and be at ease. You do meet this guy very early on in the series as well, who I call Hamburger Helper. That's what his name sounds like to me. I don't even really remember his real name, to be honest with you guys. But one thing I want to say about the series that's super enjoyable, the art, especially for the year it came out, I think the series came out around 7 years ago, the art is still beautiful to this day. The music is great, the characters are very compelling, but I think is the most interesting thing about the story though, is how unique it is. I don't think I've ever seen any series in any genre covers this kind of topic, especially the way it did. Super enjoyable. Don't want to give too much information on it for you guys who haven't seen it yet. Definitely go check out Sunday Without God. The old series, you can definitely go check it out on Crunchyroll. Alright guys, so now we're back into the overrated part of this video, and I'm going to say right off the bat that this series I watched in the anime. I know there's a manga to this as well, so if you read the manga, that's great, but I got my experience of it through the anime, and that is Haikyuu. And I will say, once again, like I do with One Punch Man, I did give it a good chance. I watched all of season 1, and I believe like 6 to 7 episodes of season 2, and it just wasn't for me. And I think that the main thing I want to start off about this series is obviously it's about volleyball, and I'm not a fan of volleyball, which is fine. I do believe you can watch a sports series and not be into that sport, and the story to still be enjoyable. But for me, it just wasn't. Like any of these like big sport battles that we saw, and these good matchups, the characters themselves are okay. But the sport, I just couldn't find interesting. It just, me personally, if you're a fan of volleyball, or if you liked it either way, I'm sorry. I just couldn't find it interesting, and it just really just didn't grab me at all. On top of that, not a lot of the characters really grabbed me either. I think a lot of them just aren't too different from anything else you see in shonen that I can just experience in a different way in different shonen. I will say I did kind of like the main character a little bit. His Hinata, I think his name is, which by the way, anytime I hear his name, I think of Hinata from Naruto. But his the way he's able to jump really high, and his passion for the sport, it's really cool. I like it, but it wasn't anything that really hooked me right off the bat. There was no character in particular that can come out of that series and say that I like really loved. If there's any character I really enjoyed, I think his name was, I want to say like Inasa or something like that. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But the guy who had like a buzz cut, he was a senior. I liked him. He was pretty funny. But for the most part, this series just felt super flat for me. I gave it a long shot, and every time I was watching an episode, I ended up just like scrolling on my phone, and then I had to like put my phone away. I'm like, okay, Jordan, watch this. Like, give this a chance. And I just felt like I shouldn't have to do that when I'm into a series, And I watched the whole first season, and I gave it my best shot. Just wasn't really into it. I don't know if it's just that I just couldn't get over the fact that I just wasn't into the sport. I mean, just to give a little context on that, I have seen like Kuroko no Basketball, which is the only other sports anime I've seen, and I do like basketball, but I'm not like a huge basketball fan. But I found a lot of enjoyment out of that series, so I don't necessarily think it's just because of the sport. I just couldn't get into it, but that's my opinion on Haikyuu. It wasn't for me. I know it's very popular. I'm thankful for what it does, though. It really is a big series in Shonen Jump. I know it just ended, but that's my opinion on Haikyuu. Didn't really like it. Alright guys, so we're going to do one more underrated series, and this one is one that I've had an experience with the manga and the anime. I've talked about this series once before on my channel a long time ago, like I won't say a long time ago, like a month or so ago. The video didn't get too many views, so if you're watching this video, definitely go back and check out this video. I think it's a very good series, and you should definitely be checking it out. But because I didn't get many views, and I think it's a series more people should hear about, I'm going to do it again. And that series is Batum. Yeah, Batum is a really good series. Now, since most of these series I've been talking about the anime, I'm going to focus on the anime at first. What this series is about, it's pretty much like Hunger Games, or it's like your, Fortnite, or any of those kind of things that you see now. But Batum has been around for a while. It wasn't the first Battle Royale too as well, so it isn't the first series to do this, but what makes it so cool, this whole Battle Royale thing of people being dropped into the island and having to fight against each other, is that the only thing that these people can use are bombs. So there's a very popular online game named Batum, and our main character is very good at that game. So when he gets to the island and he realizes that this island is like a real life version of Batum, he's obviously like scared and worried and doesn't want to hurt people, but at the same time he's really good at the game, so he can be good at this as well, but he doesn't want to kill people. So it's a very interesting story, and I think that people should definitely check it out. Unfortunately, there's only one season to the anime. The anime doesn't get finished, and the manga, from what I'm understanding, is starting to go out of print a bit. So if you can get your hands on this series now, definitely do. The manga is great from what I've read. Haven't finished all of it yet. And the anime, from what I've seen, is great. The first season was great, but unfortunately it doesn't get finished. There's great romance, there's great side characters, amazing intricate fights that are so different than anything else you would see. You would think that the series focusing only on bombs would get kind of boring or bland, but it doesn't. It's so interesting. And what's really cool too, by the way, is that there's like a lot of different type of bombs, and like each person only has like like one bomb, one type of bomb. But if you, obviously if you can kill someone else and get their bombs, and you have multiple types of bombs, and your arsenal is a lot more versatile. So it's a really cool series. Unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't get finished. Go check out the manga if you can. But yeah, that's all I really got for today. That is my 2 overrated and 2 underrated series that you should be checking out. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know, because I definitely can do more of each. If you guys like these, I can definitely pop out at least another 2 or 3 of these, because I can think of a lot. Hopefully I didn't get too many people triggered with my Haikyuu and One Punch Man opinions, but hopefully you guys also do check out these series, Sunday Without God and Batum. Both are very good. I really recommend them. If you enjoyed this video at all, go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe for more content. As always, see you next time.
Yeah.